So there's a divine order to wholeness, because it is as within, so without, right? Your internal world represents the unseen, your connection to the divine, your intuitive nature. That is the feminine energy. We receive our messages, and then we're supposed to act out of alignment with those messages, which will be the masculine, the external, the action nature is your external, your masculine. So the order is receive, take it in, the unseen, the feminine, and then without, which is the masculine energy. So when you think about the physical representation of feminine energy, that is the woman, and the physical representation of the masculine is the man, right? In this reality, we often flip it, because as I've been stating, this is a inverse reality, a distorted reality, where we are somehow allowing the external to dictate the internal. So we are letting the reality that we see dictate and go first in front of what we know internally, our intuitive nature. And therefore, that's why it's a distortion in who comes first and there's not a first and second in that regard when you're talking about men and women. Because now we're going to flip it from feminine to masculine, and we're going to say men and women, because that is not wholeness. Individually, we are whole by ourselves. Okay, so each one of us, men and women, are supposed to receive feminine energy and express masculine energy. That's what we're supposed to do. But the receiving, the intuitive, the unseen hasn't been given its respect. And so it manifests itself in its reflection, which is the woman. And because the intuitive nature hasn't gotten the respect, therefore the women aren't getting the respect. Because the external has been decided to be more important than the internal, therefore we have this notion that men are supposed to lead because they are the physical representations of the external, of the action world, the physical world. There's the distortion. So because our men, or many men, not all, but many men have not got in tune with their intuitive nature, they don't have as much respect for it, because they're not in their own feminine energy hasn't been activated and exalted, and they haven't been moving as much in aligned action. And then when you look at the woman, when they say, oh, a lot of women, not a lot, many women haven't activated their masculine energy. So they may have the downloads, but they don't have the action to go with it. So both sides haven't balanced their internal energies, so that as within, so without law is distorted. It's not representing what it needs to be, it's representing what it is. Hence the imbalance, hence the arguments, the lack of harmony, the way we're not relating to each other, because both are looking for the other to complete itself when it's supposed to be completed within. As the masculine, the man, as he cultivates his feminine energy, he will then have a high regard for the divine feminine, who is aware. Not everybody, because if you're not aware, it don't count. I can't listen to your downloads. I can't listen to what your intuition is saying, because you're not aware. You're not connected to the divine. But as he connects himself to his feminine energy, then he'll have a higher regard for the physical representation of the divine feminine, which is the woman. And as she becomes more holistic in her approach and her balance and getting her masculine together, then her boundaries will be better enforced. Her actions will be more aligned because they complement each other. But they can't look to each other to complete itself. It must be done within first. As we become more whole within, then the representation, the reflection will be more whole without. Okay? It's not everybody. It is really for those who are aware. If you're not aware, you won't get it. It doesn't make sense to you. But if you're aware, then you'll realize the yin and the yang symbol is a wholeness of one. It's not a man and a woman. It's the wholeness of one. And when two whole people get together, then they complement each other. Otherwise, you find this chaos where one is deciding who leads first, and it is not in alignment in divine order for the external to dictate the internal. It is receive and express. That's divine order. All right. That was a long one, but I had to get it out.